a lot of different things have to go into that, that formula, that calculation of, how you're going to play certain situations. And so, man, the Serbian coaches that I play for run sprints, be lifting weights. I mean, these Serbian coaches have you out in the woods, man. I wanted to be coached.
Yeah.
Coming from O'Connell and the experience that I had with Coach Wooten and the staff at that time or ever, it's hard to argue against Roy Williams.
Right. What does Carolina need to do to get back? What needs to happen?
Getting back to Carolina basketball, I think is, a function of a handful of things,
But probably 2022, the market was negative 22%, right? So like stocks like Facebook was like $99.
There's going to be challenges no matter what, whether you let them get paid or not. I don't know. I don't know if these kids are even going to school right now. What about school? Or what about your environment where you are?
See, you always had the construction hat on in your stories and stuff. Like, what you got going on?
Who you with?
Game related.
Stay game related, man. My man. Stay game related, man. Stay game related, y'all. Stay game related, man.
Stay game related.
Stay game related. Stay game related, man. The best in the business. Stay game related. You gotta stay here locked in.
When you make it in life, you always want to give back. Yeah. Same what you doing right now. These kids
have faith, believe in God. Cool. Just put that work in.
Stay game related, man.
Stay game related, man. Listen, game related for sure. My man.
Yeah, stay game related, y'all.
So stay game related.
Stay game related.
Stay game related. Game related.
Stay game related.
Stay game related.
All right, stay game related.
Stay game related. Stay game related.
My man. Stay game related.
Stay game related.
All right. Stay game related, man.
Stay game related.
Stay game related.
Stay game related. All right, my man. Stay game related.
Stay game related.
Yeah.
Stay game related.
My man.
Stay game related.
My man.
Y'all better stay game related.
When the whole world be waiting for you, but if you want some local shit, you won't even know.
Welcome to Game Related, where we highlight opportunities and obstacles from former athletes with the thought process of giving future generations a better understanding about the game. These conversations are meant to bring awareness to the hardships and the opportunities that come with the game. Let's get game related. All right, y'all, we are back with another episode of Game Related. I'm very excited for this one. I'm going to tell y'all straight up, this was the first man that made me kind of figure out what else I need to do to get better on offense. We got Marcus Ginyard in the building, O'Connell legend, North Carolina legend. Was it 11 years overseas? You told me I'm short you, right? 11 years overseas, man. Very excited to have him on. He's going to talk to us about his career. Obviously, him being a Chapel Hill junkie, and then obviously what he has going on the business side of things too, man. So welcome to the show.
Man, appreciate it, brother.
Yes,
Good
sir.
to see you, man.
Yes,
Good to
sir.
see you.
Yes, sir, man. So I wanna actually get right into your defensive psyche.
Sure, man.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I remember playing you and O'Connell. Y'all did something that was different, and I clearly I still remember it because it bothered me. But like, you were bigger, faster, stronger than me. And you played close. And they also had some people in the background, but still, like, you were really good on defense. You know what I mean? I recognized that. And it altered how I wanted to operate. Just talk about, and I feel like that's been your staple forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk about what goes into being a defensive guy, the mindset. What were you looking for, when you're guarding somebody? Just get into the psyche of it.
Yeah. First of all, appreciate those kind words. Shout out to you and your squad for pushing us, man. Like, we had some really tough battles.
Yes.
And I think, more than anything, I appreciate the competition between us and that battle that we had, because, you talked about how I forced you to think about something different that you had to do to take it to the next level. But you and your team did the same thing for us.
Yeah.
You pushed us, and we had to be better. We had to step up. We had to play a lot tougher when we played against you guys. There's no doubt about that. So, one, just appreciate you recognizing that. Defensively, for me, I think that it's such an incredible way for you to get on the court.
Yeah,
that nobody talks about.
Right.
And for me, it was just really about, like, how do I put my fingerprints on this game? you talked about being bigger and stronger. It's interesting when I think about my time at O'Connell. I feel like I was a shrimp, and I feel like I think I was like 185 pounds, soaking wet.
But you was always in real good shape too.
I agree. And that certainly helped me. But really, I just wanted to, excuse me. Really, I just wanted to make it tough.
Yeah.
On my opponent. I wanted them to feel uncomfortable. I wanted them to know that I was there. I wanted them to be thinking about me all the time, not just when they had the ball.
Right.
I wanted them to be thinking about me all the time. And as we're here in Washington, D.C., I would be remiss not to mention another former teammate of mine, Eric Price.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Eric
My
Price.
teammate too. Yep.
So getting to play with him and watching the way that he could disrupt an entire basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, he played defense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, guys couldn't even bring the ball up like past the free throw line on the other side of the court.
Mm-hmm.
He was an absolute menace.
Do you remember? So O'Connell had, I think it was Justin Gatlin at the time, the point guard.
Yep.
And Toe was a freshman. We were all on varsity. I wasn't playing, but he was playing. And I watched him, just what you just said, and I was like, oh my goodness.
I'm telling you. It's so that was a great example for me.
Yeah.
To just understand something. I mean, it's not necessarily simple, but effort, just pure effort. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's a lot of technical things going on the defensive end, but truly just your effort and that mindset of, I am going to make this person's night living hell.
Mm-hmm.
And, that got me on the court. It put our team in a better position to win. I felt, I took that role on. I accepted it. I really, that really felt like me. I kind of took it on as my identity and, was able to kind of blossom from there. But always thought that it was just an important thing to have, in the toolbox.
Nice. So would you say you guard somebody coming off of pin downs different than you would guard somebody who's just an ISO guy versus a ball screen guy?
Sure. It's, one thing that I definitely learned and got better at, as time went on, certainly as I became a pro, was just, really this idea of knowing your personnel, right? Mm-hmm. Like, of course, if you got a shooter, you're going to play him a little bit different than the guy that's going to be handling the rock, but like truly understanding the guy that you're guarding, truly understanding what his tendencies are, what his first, second, third moves are, how he gets open within the offense. Guys that you're playing against in AAU, that's going to be a very different system than how they're playing at Gonzaga or at DeMatha, And so like all of those different dynamics that are at play, how are you going to guard this guy when he's got 3 fouls versus when he has 0 fouls, and the other way around as well, when you have 3 fouls or not, And so a lot of different things have to go into that, that formula, that calculation of, how you're going to play certain situations. And so, really knowing the game. Yeah. Not just, yes, I'm going to play hard. Yes, I have this mentality that, this night is going to be difficult for my opponent, but how well do you know the game? How well do you know their systems? How well do you know yourself and how how you can compete out there on the floor, what you can do physically. And so, you got to calculate all those things.
Yeah, man. So give me some of your toughest guards that you had to deal with. Not when I say guard, like I'm just saying who you guard, not position wise.
Man, at O'Connell?
Nah, I'm talking about total.
Man. I'm so glad that you mentioned that because I would not be able to tell you back from the high school. Actually, Kyle Lowry in high school. Yeah. Played against him up at ACIT. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, we beat his team to win the championship. Yeah. And it's funny, I just saw a couple of my high school coaches not too long ago in Chapel Hill. Mm-hmm. And they were telling me a story about how, obviously, we just won the championship. Everybody's super excited. Everybody's like, or maybe it's the semis. And they're like, man, we just beat Kyle Lowry, blah, blah, blah. Marcus made it super tough on him. I think he was like, he shot very poorly from the free throw line. Mm-hmm. But don't get it twisted. This guy had 40 points. Yeah. Right? He
was a downhill bandit.
He was super tough to guard. And, maybe we tired him out, whatever, we won the game. But he was a tough guard, to your point. Downhill, strong he was stronger than anybody on the court. Yeah. And really just mentally, wanted to come after you, and that's something you had to be prepared for. He's somebody that comes to mind. Sean Singletary comes to mind. Tyrese Rice comes to mind. You mentioned JJ Redick. JJ was tough. I had never, up until that point, dealt with someone who moved off the ball like that. Mm-hmm. A couple years later, ended up playing against Steph.
Okay.
Who also, as everybody knows now, was one of the most elite guards off the ball,
right?
And now with the ball. Yeah, man. And I know I'm leaving a lot of people out, but
those some tough names.
Yeah.
And they all bring something different to the table.
Sure.
I played against JJ my freshman year at Gonzaga.
Okay.
And, I'm coming out of 8th grade. So, my coach is telling me to pick him up at half court because he will shoot the ball. And I'm like, bullshit. Right? And he comes right down and smack it. Comes down again, same thing. And I went to the bench.
I couldn't imagine him in high school.
Yeah.
But she was even wilder.
Yeah, it was. We played them, and then we played J.R. Reynolds back to back, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm in varsity, and this is no joke.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my welcome to high school.
Welcome to the big leagues. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's cool, man. So I want to go back. Let's fast forward to just overseas, right? 11-year pro. Just talk about what it's like to be an overseas player. On the court, off the court. What did you learn, and like the difference of the style and plays?
I just saw D Sweet on here talking about this a little bit, at least. First of all, off the court, there's a lot of guys that are not ready, are not fit, are not capable of what it takes to play overseas. To leave your family for a year, to be in a place where you know no one, where you most likely don't speak the language. Mm-hmm. It's a very challenging transition. Mm-hmm. It's very challenging. It taught me a lot about myself as a person. Yeah. And I am very grateful that I did it and stuck with it and, eventually learned to thrive in that scenario. But first of all, off the court is very different. And I'll never forget, just like D Sweet was talking about, I'm at Carolina. We're chartering jets. We're eating at the nicest restaurants. We're staying at the nicest hotels. In my first year, I'm playing in Germany.
Oh.
Playing for Bayreuth, a team that had just won the second division. And so it's their first year in the top division. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, I'm going to a top division team in a pretty big league.
A very good league.
A really good league, yeah. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't know that we're going to be chartering jets, but I feel like we're going to be, doing okay. Man, our first game is a 15-hour road trip.
I believe it.
And I'm looking around like, you have got to be kidding me. We're getting on a bus for 15 hours?
And back then, it was probably no Wi-Fi, no nothing.
No, sir. Get you a book, my friend.
Yeah.
And so that was my welcome to Europe moment. I was like, man, this is not it. Mm-hmm. And by the way, we went and got smacked by 30. And welcome back to the bus. 15-hour trip back home through the middle of the night. So, guys get used to a lifestyle here. I mean, even if you're not playing at the top level here, you're probably traveling a little bit better than that. Yeah. So, all those things are a big change. Then obviously you're going to be dealing with a coach that, who knows where they're from? They might have grown up in the Eastern Bloc. Think about what they experienced as kids growing up.
Right.
Think about how they're about to coach you. I'll never forget, man, the Serbian coaches that I played for. I'm thinking about preseason. We're going to run sprints, be lifting weights. These Serbian coaches have you out in the woods, man. Running in the woods.
Yeah.
You're like, man, what am I doing here?
Right.
And it's like, so there's a lot of things that people just don't know about. They certainly aren't talking about. Mm-hmm. It's a different world out there in Europe for sure. Now, don't get me wrong. I spent 11 years there. Arguably the best decision I've ever made in my life was to go play in Europe and to spend my early adult years in Europe. So again, extremely grateful for that experience. And it can be really really cool.
Yeah.
You know, there's some guys that make big time, not just money, but like have big impacts and have great experiences playing in you know, clubs that have a James Gist.
Right.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, that experience that he had, and I don't know all the ups and downs, but I mean, you're playing for a team like Panathinaikos.
Right.
Man, you're playing for Bayern Munich.
Right.
I mean, like these are some pretty incredible scenarios to find yourself in. You know, Tyrese, gosh, playing for Maccabi Tel Aviv, and I think he might have played for Milan. And so, I mean, he was all over the place, you know, and you win a EuroLeague championship. I mean, there's some really cool things that you can do out there in Europe and experience, but it definitely comes at a price.
Yeah.
And I don't know that everybody's ready to pay it.
Nice, man. So on the court,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? How different is it than college, or different than, you know, I guess the NBA or
Yeah.
G League?
Well, you know, I get this question with some frequency. They wonder, like, kind of, you know, how is the game different? Well, first of all, just like 2 quick rules of the game, right? Like,
Okay.
you're looking at an NBA game, you're looking at a European game. You got 4 12-minute quarters in the NBA. You got 4 10-minute quarters in Europe. So there's like almost a whole nother quarter that you're not playing. And then you got no 3 seconds, no defensive 3 seconds. I mean, that talk about defense, that completely changes your defensive schemes.
Right.
And then another big one is the ball is live after it hits the rim.
Yeah.
So all those beautiful shots that you see hitting the rim and rolling around and bouncing off the front of the rim and the back of the rim and then going in, like all those are gone.
Yeah.
All those are gone, you know. You know, a little bit on the footwork, you know, the rip through. I tell you, you know, anybody that played in the U.S. and then went to play in Europe.
Traveled 5 times my first game.
I mean, those first probably year, 2 years that you play in Europe, I mean, you're just like, why are they calling travel on me every single time?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, those are just some like kind of technical things, and then just like the mentality of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Europeans learn, in my personal opinion, learn a great style of basketball from a very young age. How to drive and dish and relocate and spacing and shooting. And, you know, they're a lot more technical. And I feel like as Americans, at least in the past when I'm growing up, we relied a little bit more on our athleticism.
Yeah.
And our creativity as athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now you're starting to see how that is starting to even out, right? You think about the top players in the NBA, you think about, you know, the last couple of Olympics and World Games and all those things. It's like you're starting to see European nations that are as good, if not arguably better than some of the product we put out there.
Like you're saying, man, the NBA is kind of changing into that too.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of driving kicks, you know, replays, you know, moving to the next spot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, bigs are more point forwards now.
Yep.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's definitely changing, man. So give me some of your best places you played and some of your worst places that you didn't like.
Thanks for asking that one. I loved playing in France.
Yeah.
Somewhere inside of me, I feel like I am actually French, and I just like I love everything.
You got
about
a language?
I do. I've been speaking French for a while, actually. Studied it in school, and then so I went to Europe and you know, lived in France for 3 years. So that was part of what made that transition very easy for me in France. Germany was great. Love my time in Poland, believe it or not. Ukraine, I enjoyed my time in Ukraine as well, although it was short due to the war in 2014. No disrespect to Romania, but it just didn't feel right. You know, the situation and where I was in my life and all those things just didn't quite work out. And so, you know, that was the only time in my career that I left a team. Had to leave in the middle of the year, just wasn't it for me. Left and finished the year in Poland. Greece was a great place to live briefly. Also had a not so great situation there in Athens, but
that's crazy because Devin Sweetney said, "I love being in Greece."
Yeah,
but financially something went wrong and he didn't get all his money.
That'll make you think about Greece in a very different way.
That's crazy.
You know,
that's a beautiful place.
It is.
And leave you hanging dry.
And don't just you know, this is not just Greece.
Yeah.
You know, that happens a lot of places. And that's another thing. You know, you think about the difference of playing here in the States and playing in Europe, man, you might go 3 months without getting paid. Damn.
Germany was good. I played in Germany.
Yeah. Germany
they
has
was
historically always been on time, in full, no problems.
Yeah.
I mean, everything works great in Germany.
Yeah.
Everything's on time.
Yeah.
Everything's exactly how they say it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's why I like Germany.
Okay. Cool, man. So let me think. I want to go back to Carolina now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, talk about, first and foremost, why did you choose Carolina?
Yeah. So I chose Carolina for a handful of reasons. I wanted to be coached.
Yeah.
Coming from O'Connell and the experience that I had with Coach Wooten and the staff, I knew that being coached hard and having someone who cared about me was going to be a huge benefit for me. And I know that sounds obvious to say, but I knew that was going to be a benefit. And so I wanted to be coached. At that time or ever, it's hard to argue against Roy Williams.
Right.
I wanted to get better. And I knew that if I was coached the way, you look at all the players that he had that have been through his programs. It's very clear these kids get better. They become pros. And you do with it what you can, like at the end of the day, like you're going to get coached, you're going to get better. I wanted to be a part of a national championship team. If you're growing up in our time, you see, the teams that Coach Williams was coaching were contending for championships
every year.
And so I'll never forget thinking about that in high school. It wasn't, I want to play pro. I wanted to win a national championship. And so I knew that North Carolina was going to be a spot for that, And so I wanted to win a championship, and then I wanted to be a part of a bigger thing. I wanted to be a part of a team and a group that left a legacy, just like we did at O'Connell. Yeah. And I was very fortunate to have been a part of a team that did that at Carolina as well.
Nice, man. So just talk about just the ACC. That was when I felt like ACC was like tops in the conference. Country.
For me, that was the best time in the ACC. And there's certainly some old timers that, back in the 80s or maybe even before that thought that was the best ACC. But I felt like the early 2000s, when we were starting high school, I feel like that was prime time ACC.
Yeah.
And I miss those days, man. I miss Carolina, Maryland. I miss Maryland, Duke.
Oh my God, right?
It's just very odd to see this conference realignment right now. But I knew I wanted to play in the ACC. And I knew I didn't want to go to Maryland. Didn't go to Maryland.
So outside of Duke, who was like your favorite team to play against on the road?
Oof. On the road. In the conference?
Yeah.
Maryland, they were just wild in there. Comcast was wild.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about Duke in that environment, which is crazy. And it is a lot of fun to play in, especially when you're winning in there.
Right.
Which I did a lot of. But Comcast was crazy.
Yeah.
Those boys were saying the wildest stuff.
I believe it.
And they were fired up for those games. They got a couple good cracks at us, but definitely miss playing at Maryland. I think those two they stand out more than anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maryland and Duke.
So give me like one of your best memories playing in Carolina.
Freshman year at Duke, my very first time ever playing at Cameron.
Okay.
Speaking of J.J. Redick, since we've been bringing up his name a bunch, it's his senior night. Him and Sheldon Williams.
Okay.
Very first time in Cameron, I'm like just all struck by what's going on there. From the moment you step off the bus, you're feeling the energy. And, you get out on the court to warm up, and they're already in their like choreographed chants. Just hammering you during warm-ups. And you're just like, man, this is bananas. It's crazy in there. But to go in there my first time as a freshman and to not only beat Duke, but to ruin their senior night after they had just beat us in Chapel Hill a couple weeks prior.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never forget that night, man. That was an incredible experience, unforgettable experience to walk out of Cameron Indoor Stadium wearing a Carolina jersey, with a win.
Didn't y'all have a couple buzzer beaters through your tenure with the Carolina Duke?
No, not buzzer
okay.
beaters. No, Tyler hit a very iconic shot at the end of the shot clock.
Okay.
That put it out of reach for them that year, matter of fact, that freshman year.
And that was so whatchamacallit, Doc Rivers' son was after you.
That was after.
Okay.
Yeah, boy, that one hurt.
Yeah.
That one hurt.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that was 2012 over Tyler Zeller.
I didn't age this.
Oh, man. Did. And it's crazy. I wasn't even playing, but that shot hurt. That shot hurt. But I love that rivalry, man. Like, to your point, the buzzer beaters for wins, like in that type of game, that type of environment. I wish that everybody could experience it.
Yeah.
I really do, man.
Yeah.
To me, that is hands down best rivalry in sports.
Yeah, I got to make one of them.
Yeah, you do.
I gotta
you definitely do.
Man, so obviously you're still a Carolina, like you bleed Carolina blue.
Yeah.
Like I see you down there, you at the pep rallies, you at the games. What does Carolina need to do to get back into, obviously you made the tournament, but that's not what you really want.
No,
that's not the
Carolina
standard. What needs to happen?
It's a great question. They are certainly paying someone a lot of money to figure that out, and it is not me. Getting back to Carolina basketball, I think is, a function of a handful of things. Somehow, some way, we have to figure out how to get back to having the best talent coming to Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that has not happened. This is not point your fingers at this guy or that. It just hasn't happened.
Right.
So we have to figure that out. And I don't know if it's money, if it's, these coaches or what. I don't know.
Right.
But we have to find a way to get back to that. I think that, in this new landscape that we're in and, now having GMs involved and, people that are dedicated to, building rosters and dealing with salaries, I guess now we're calling them.
Right.
Hopefully we'll get back to just having one of, if not the most talented roster, right? Like start there. But then ultimately, Carolina, I think, has to get back to what we think of as the Carolina way.
Okay.
Just playing smart, playing hard, and playing together. And I just don't know if those things have all come together, like really, truly playing for the name on the front of the jersey.
It's so tough, man.
And again, maybe it's happening and I'm just the old guy that is always complaining about it's not like it used to be.
Yeah.
But, I feel like that edge is different. And one thing that I certainly remember is that when we came out to play teams, there was already a level of fear and of anxiety from the other team. Like they knew that this was about to be one of the toughest nights on the court that they've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't remember a time recently where I've seen that type of fear put in another team that we were playing.
I got you.
Like everybody for the longest time has felt like they can beat us and have beaten us, And so I don't know how you put it all together, but, you got to get back to the point where, we are like this as a unit where we are thinking about the team first and foremost before everything. And we're performing at a clip and at a rate and in a way that really makes other people scared to get on the court against us,
I like that, man. It's so tough because I also feel like because everybody has played each other now, right? That it's like, well, I already played you like 5 times already.
And not even played each other already, but like maybe have even played with each other and are like friends even.
Yeah. I mean, you watched it. I was not friends with Eric or Freddie when we played y'all at all. You know?
And I'm very thankful for that. Like I said, like that creates an environment for everybody to take their game to the next level.
Yeah.
And even if you were friends off the court, like when we're on the court, we got no more friendships, man.
Yeah.
And I feel like, again, here's Mr. Old Timer, right? Like I feel like not too long after our class, that changed in a very big way.
Yeah.
And I think that this AAU circuit now has a lot to do with that. You know, you got guys from Chicago playing with guys from Florida, and, you know, they're all meeting up and playing on these teams together, and, you know, they're all friends, and there's 100 different All-American or whatever games out there. So like they all come into college having played with each other for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And so there is a bit of camaraderie and friendship, and I don't know. I don't want to say that's bad for basketball, but like I like it when we were like trying to beat the crap out of the other team, you know, and like giving dudes elbows. And I mean, you know, we're not out here trying to kill anybody, but like I want to
maybe a little bit.
I mean, but look at the NBA back in the 80s, you know, like obviously it wasn't that bad, but let's get back to really like wanting to beat the other guy. You know what I mean? Like sense of pride that our team is better than yours, that I'm not about to let you get out of here looking like the better man. Like I don't know, man. I just feel like that edge is slipping away.
Yeah, man. So what's your thoughts on NIL? You like it? What don't you like about it? You know, like give me your advice on it.
What I don't like about it is that we can't like retroactively get me an NIL contract from 2008 and 9, because I mean, I'm hearing the numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about a team that wins multiple ACC championships, that goes to multiple Final Fours, that wins a national championship. I mean, gosh, I don't know. I can just do a little bit of back of the napkin math, man. It feels like there's a good bit of cash on the table.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that the kids are able to get to this point where they can earn money. They certainly generate a lot of revenue for these schools, and so I think that it's fair that they share in that. All the rules and specifics about this is, should there be a salary cap, this, that, and the third? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I am happy that they can make money. You know, I think right now Jay Williams has really become extremely vocal with just the general idea of an athlete and their brand, and protecting not only just the money, but gaining the knowledge to understand what comes with that, how to protect that, how to build that, you know. And so I think it's a really interesting opportunity for these kids, these young men at an even younger age, to be exposed to what it means to earn that kind of money. And again, how to grow it, how to protect it. There's going to be challenges no matter what, whether you let them get paid or not, whether they get that money 4 years from now or not. It's like, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be mistakes, and that's part of learning. But I think it's great that these kids get an opportunity to earn some money. Yeah, so really the biggest issue is I'm just salty that I didn't get paid. Okay. I mean, like, we're at dinners in Chapel Hill. You know, we have a big game. We beat Kentucky, and you go out and you're at dinner, and you got some fans next to you that want to buy you a meal, man, and we could not accept a free meal.
Yeah.
I remember getting turned into the compliance office in the athletics department because someone saw someone buy us a pitcher of margaritas. And like, then we had to like donate money to a local charity to like pay back the value of the pitcher of margaritas.
That's crazy.
Now, 20 years later, you can sign a deal from your school even now for multi-million dollar contract.
Okay. I feel that.
It's tough, man.
It's tough, man. Tough. It's tough. It's like a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I would love to see is more so player performance, a little bit more in that.
Absolutely.
Like, if you're going to get paid this, like, I don't necessarily know how you rate it, right? Because it shouldn't necessarily be points and rebounds, right? No. But, like, some intangibles, you know, because some guys are not scorers.
Right.
But, like, you impact in the game.
Exactly.
And so, like, if you're not doing that, then maybe get docked your pay or just something, you know what I mean, to keep these kids playing hard.
What I think it ultimately boils down to is it feels like right now they have so much leverage that doesn't feel realistic outside of this bubble that they're in.
Right.
Because everywhere else that they go, whether it's professional level or just a professional outside of sports,
right,
no one is going to pay you if you don't perform.
Right.
And so I don't know if it's every quarter they get their money, if over the last 2.5 months or whatever it is, they've been to practice on time. They haven't been doing anything crazy that, is bringing negative attention to the team. They've had a good attitude at practice. That, they're making their meetings.
I like those.
They're making their meetings. They're on time for therapy, whatever the case may be. Right. And yeah, you're late to the bus, $5,000, $500, whatever it is. Like,
right.
Yeah. You're getting docked. You were late to class. Okay, that's $1,000 off. Just have them accept and understand the responsibility that comes with things like this. And it's not even necessarily the money. It's like just the position that you're in to be playing at that level.
Right.
Like you have to hold yourself and your teammates accountable. And so you sign a 2-year contract to get paid $1 million a year. Okay, great. If after the first year you decide you want to leave, it's a $250,000 fee for you to cut your contract.
Yeah.
Like, make it realistic. Because when you go out and you sign to work with whoever, you can't just like leave after everybody's invested in you or made plans to bring you on board or whatever the case may be. Like, let's make it realistic.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to you in the real world when you sign a big deal like that and then just walk out or get hurt and don't play? There's repercussions to this, So. Right. Somehow let's make it reflect that.
Okay. I like that. Tell me, obviously, you've dealt with agents, right? Now kids are dealing with agents at a younger age.
Yep.
What advice, because I feel like it's almost the same game now, right?
Yeah.
What advice would you give kids on how to deal with agents? Or do you even think they're necessary?
Advice that I would give, man, is just, I don't know, man. Talk to a lot of different people. Don't just go with the guy that you've known forever. I don't know, man. I hear some pretty bad stories about this. Agents taking 20%.
Yeah. Right.
20%. That just blows my mind. And I don't know what they're doing. I really don't know. I don't know how involved that agent is right now at this level. I don't know. I'm not here saying that they're not worth having on the team, but I don't know, man. We just gotta. Agents have always been in a gray area. Right. It's like there's some really good ones. I think there's some really bad ones that really have some bad intentions and then who knows about the rest. But it's a really tough situation. But I think that's also kind of one of those hard lessons that some guys are going to learn.
Yeah.
That you can't necessarily trust someone just because you've known them or they're around. And gosh, I don't know, man. Just pray that they have good people around them that can help them navigate, vetting people to better understand, like, is this person truly here with my best interest in mind? I can't imagine that that's happened the majority of the time. Mm-hmm. I know it's happening some, but I cannot imagine that the majority of these agents have the kids' best interest in mind.
Yeah. I'll speak for myself, right? Let's just say a kid was getting like 800,000, right? So at 10%, that's like 80 grand, right? The agent says, I could help you get more money,
mm-hmm.
right? But like, that's not really the kid money, because it's literally going into what you're going to pay the agent.
Mm-hmm.
That's from my perspective. I done had a couple agents on the show, and I still can't get past that.
Yeah.
Because we done the recruiting thing, you know what I mean, in college. And, at the end of the day, fit matters more than anything.
Exactly.
Because if your fit's not right, you're not going to be able to get that second contract. You know what I mean? And so, like, parents, as hands-on as they are right now, sometimes I feel like they outsmart themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's just like the game's still the game. It's changed a little bit because of the finances, but it's still the game.
Yeah.
You know, like what you're trying to accomplish, putting your kid in a good situation, getting your travel paid for. But after that, like what else you need?
Just greedy.
You know?
You know, and that's a great point. Agent comes to you and says, "Hey, I can get you more money." That should be a secondary, maybe even a tertiary question, thought.
Yeah.
Are you in the right place?
Right.
To your point, is this the right fit for you? I don't know. What about, I don't know. I don't know if these kids are even going to school right now. What about school? Or what about your environment where you are? You know, like these things also matter. And I feel like, I don't know this to be true, but it feels like that question of how much money am I making is getting higher and higher on the priority list.
It's tops.
When I don't know that needs to be the first question. You're going to go make $1 million instead of 800 grand. But now you're going to go to a team where you don't fit in, you don't like the coach, or he doesn't really, I don't know. Like, Then what happens the year after, to your point? The next thing.
Right.
Now that's affected in a way that you didn't intend, or that's or negatively affected.
Because, you know, overseas, you trying to get to that next contract.
Let me tell you that year matters.
Right. And so, like, this is the same game now, right? You go somewhere, you sit, or your numbers or whatever's not good, your value go like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's why I say the game is still the game. Like, you got to find the right fit for you. Man, so I want to get into Marcus off the court, man. I see you got a golf club, man. So you've taken in golfing?
I have, man. I am so bad right now.
Okay.
So a couple of weeks ago, I broke 100 for the first time after playing for a couple of years. Shot a 92, which is not anything to be super excited about, but I did break 100. Felt good about that. And then the next time I played, I shot like a 109. I mean, golf is a great game to teach you about life.
Yeah. Patience, right?
All the things. Patience for sure. And then the lesson that I just learned is like, yeah, you did okay today, and then you did horrible the next day. Like, pump your brakes, calm down. You're not that good.
Yeah.
I mean, how you deal with failure and like hitting a bad shot, and then you got to get up to the ball and you got to hit another shot. And if you're still thinking about the bad shot you just hit, or you're angry, or you're tense, you're about to hit another bad shot. And like, so having, to think about that and having to flip that switch in the moment to be thinking about the next play, to be thinking about the next thing and have a positive mentality. Where you have a bad hole and like, do you now have a terrible drive because you just 3-putted on the green? It's like, it's an interesting mirror that you have to look in to really understand, how you're going to walk through life. I mean, you learn a lot about somebody playing around a golf with them.
Man, that's pretty cool, man. I actually golfed one time with my uncle, and I was swinging it like a baseball bat.
Yeah.
And it wasn't going anywhere.
Nah, man.
And like the one time, like, I don't know how I did it, but like it was just a smooth swing. It went far, and I felt like I didn't even hit the ball.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. One of those things where, as athletes, a football player or a basketball player, we kind of feel like if we go a little bit harder or push them a little stronger, or, we put more effort into it, we might get a better outcome. It's just not the same in golf. You're trying harder, you put more effort into it, it's going to probably be worse. Yeah.
Nah, man, that's cool. So outside of golf, what other hobbies, what does somebody not know about Marcus Ginyard?
Yeah, man, I hate to say this as a hobby. It is something I've become very passionate about, but wine.
Okay.
Wine has been something that I've really kind of become attached to after my time in France. I really just, I just found a love for it. I think it's a really cool medium to bring people together, to find connection, in a really meaningful way. I saw that food and wine was really about that connection, and it's a a relationship with food and wine that we don't have here in the U.S.
No.
And so it was always something that brought people together, and it was very intentional, and the connections were very meaningful. And so it started to really pique my interest. And then I've started learning a bunch about wine. I've started to get some wine certifications.
Okay, so you're gonna probably jump out there and get your.
We're doing some pretty interesting stuff. I'm actually currently, and keep your fingers crossed whenever you're watching this. I hope that we can get this done. I'm currently going through the process of purchasing a wine company. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But even the exercise of that has been fun. So that's something. I mean, everybody that spends any amount of time with me right now would know that, but certainly the listeners may not. So that's another thing that keeps me busy.
Okay. So like, break down, what do you look for in a good wine?
Yeah.
Break that down to me.
And so this is super general for everybody, and because everybody's tastes are different.
Right.
So for me, what I'm thinking about in a wine is where I can, and for folks that don't drink wine, they're going to think I'm crazy, but I want to be able to taste the soil.
Okay.
So I want to drink a wine and really have an idea of where it's from and what soil those vines were planted in. I think about wines with, bright minerality that you just know have stony terroirs, and you'll hear people talking about terroir all the time. And it's like, good wines, you can really taste where they're from. I also like wines that are complex, where you're not just tasting one thing, where you have moments where you're tasting the fruit, you have moments where you're tasting the oak, you have moments where you're tasting the soil. It's a complex experience. And then, there's some wines that you drink, you take a sip, tastes good, and then after 2 seconds, you can't taste it anymore. So we talk about long finishes. I'd love to have wines that have long finishes, that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds after you take a sip, it's still doing something.
Man, you really sound like you into this. For real.
Yeah.
So that means like you definitely like going to the wineries.
Yes. And I have not gone to any wineries in the U.S. Not yet.
It got to be a lot different than overseas.
I wouldn't know. I've heard great things about some wineries out, on the West Coast, and I will make my way out there. But for me, man, I'm just an old world wine guy. As I mentioned before, I feel like I'm French, and so I've spent all the time at wineries up until this point in France. But look forward to getting to wine country out and about throughout the world.
Man, I wish you well on that, man.
Thank you very much.
You get that company going.
Thank you.
That'd be sweet, man.
Thank you.
I'm not a drinker.
Yeah.
But I remember being in the vineyards in Germany and just seeing how pure and natural it was obviously they just had a great environment over there.
Shout out to Germany, man. The great wines of Germany.
Yeah, for
great
sure.
Wines.
So man, I want to talk about real estate a little bit.
Yeah.
I see you always had the construction hat on in your stories and stuff. Like, what you got going on?
Yeah. So for 3.5 years, almost 4 years after basketball, I worked in commercial real estate finance.
Okay.
And so
she was a commercial loan officer?
A commercial mortgage broker, right?
Okay.
So we were pairing developers and owners with different capital sources, whether they were banks, life insurance companies, private capital sources, debt funds. So we were just the intermediaries, brokering commercial loans, whether they were construction loans or bridge financing or permanent financing.
So you was the full 90. So like I did commercial financing for a little bit.
Okay.
But I really stayed on the 1-4s, and then we did a little bit on the multifamilies, but I never really did the bridge loans or anything. So mine was just straight financing.
Yeah. So it was a very, very good experience, learning the business, building some really powerful connections, and building out my network.
Yeah.
I love it. I do. I love it because it has opened my mind to something that I otherwise would not have known. I'd always heard about it. You see people that, are real estate moguls or developers or whatever they want to call, but having an opportunity to be in the industry and really see what's going on, to see how it operates and to see how it works is, access, right?
Right.
Access to information, access to experience. And so very grateful to have had that experience and look forward to continuing to build those relationships and to get more actively involved in real estate as a means of investing as an individual.
What would you say is one thing? Obviously, you got these kids, they got NIL. I talk stocks all the time, right? But I do understand real estate. What's one thing that you can give advice-wise for kids who are interested in real estate?
Also, great question. Wherever you are, just find someone there locally. So if you're at school, you're in a university, I think that if you're interested in real estate or even, investing in, a more traditional way in stocks and bonds, I think you should connect with your business school at your school. And if there's not a business school at your school, there's got to be some professionals nearby. There definitely are wherever you are. I think find a way to get connected with them. I don't want to say an internship because they may not have the time, but, see if you can't shadow them for a week or a couple hours a day and just find a way to put yourself in that position or in that room or, within that firm and having, again, access to that information and access to that experience. How can you see what this looks like from the inside?
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate at the University of North Carolina to have a great business school. And so if there's anybody on Carolina's team that's interested in something like that, for me, it's the first connection I'd be trying to make. Who's teaching these classes? Can we find some time on the side to have some conversations, meeting for lunch or coffee or whatever it is, get connected to those people that are doing the things that you're interested in. That's the most direct way to have access to that information.
Okay, I like that. So give me one thing that you learned experience-wise on the real estate side. You ain't got to get too deep in the woods, but just,
just be careful with your leverage, man. Be careful with your leverage. Leverage can be your friend, but it will kill you quickly.
Uh-huh.
And, kind of had a general understanding of that. But, I started in December of 2021. Things changed very quickly by the middle of 2022.
Yep.
And I saw a lot of things flip upside down quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially what Mark is talking about is loan to value, right? Rates, 2020, 2021 were, all-time lows, like 3-4%, right? A lot of guys was doing a lot of fixing flips. And the rates changed and went up to 7-8%, 6%, things of that nature, right? And a lot of people could not get out of those deals, meaning they had a what I always call it a balloon note, right? They had a balloon note, which is a interest rate that changes after 12 months or 24 months, something like that. And they were not able to, once they tried to refinance, so after they built the home, right, and tried to refinance out of that so then they could sell the property or something. Either they couldn't sell the property or the rate was too high, right? And a lot of guys went underwater.
Yep.
It's funny you say that. So one of the first things we used to do is we'll ask somebody for their SREO, which is their schedule of real estate owned, and obviously their personal financial statement.
Yep.
And one of the things we would do was just try to find the money. Right, all right. You say you want 200 grand or you want 500 grand, whatever, million. Let's figure out the easiest way to do that without you defaulting or going underwater. And it's always interesting, right? Because the borrower, you just never know. Sometimes you be like, "Give me a blue car," and I'm like, but this yellow car probably a lot better for you to use.
For you, yeah.
For you, right? But he's like, I want a blue car. And I'm like, dude, I'll give you the blue car, but the yellow car is a lot easier for you to, you get some wiggle room. And man, sometimes, that ego get to you. You feel like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And maybe you haven't weathered the storm yet, so you
Mm-hmm.
just so inexperienced and think it's sweet, and the market changes on you. And
That's another thing. It was a fortunate situation, a little unfortunate at the same time, but to see the market change the way that it did, to have started in real estate when it was white hot for the last several months that it was like that, and then to see it change the way that I did, is a lesson learned, a lesson seen and experienced that a lot of guys up until that point had never experienced. If you started in, where I was, at least in commercial, on the commercial side, or in real estate in general, if you started in real estate in 2010 or 11, you had only experienced the market getting better and better and better and better.
facts.
So some guys in 2022, 2023 literally lost their mind. They didn't know what was going on. And so I am thankful that I was able to see a moment where things go poorly and go very poorly. Just to, again, even back to that leverage situation, just understanding that it is not always sweet.
Right.
It is not always going to be great. And there is an opportunity for it to shift in a big way quickly.
Yeah, man. That's the same thing in stocks, right? Like I jumped into stocks like 2019, 2020. And obviously we had the pandemic, but that year the market went up like 22%. But probably 2022, the market was negative 22%, right? So like stocks like Facebook was like $99. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like $7.50 right now. You know what I mean? And so being able to see that and then understanding why the market went down, right? And I did good, but I ain't capitalized on it like I wanted to, right? And so like now being seasoned in it, you know what I mean? I'm still not a pro.
But you're more prepared than you were the last time.
Way more prepared, you know what I mean? And so like you just see things, you know what I mean? And one thing I love about real estate, stocks, anything I would consider like white collar or whatever, right? It's not going nowhere, especially here in America. You know what I mean? So like that's one of the things that I think athletes gotta really get a hone in on, right? Because like it's gonna outlast your playing career.
Sure will.
So man, that's cool, man. Hey, before I got one more question for you, but before that, is there anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to speak on?
Just want to shout out all of DC, Maryland, Virginia hoops. I can't think of a place that I wanted to grow as a player. Yeah. More so than here in this area and what we experienced here and the players and the coaches and all the things that I was, just so blessed to be a part of here in the DMV, man. Like, I know every metro is going to talk about, their city and whatnot, but I really appreciate what we went through here and not only the players that we became, but the people we became because of what we went through here. And so just everybody out there, past, present, future. If you're a DMV hooper and you came through here, we'll come through here. Got a lot of respect for you.
Yeah, man. This area is rich in players.
As athletes.
Athletes. Yeah, athletes. Oh my God, man. Like it never stops. And like there's not a day where I'm like, I can't grab somebody and get him in here. Like whether you out of town or from here, because it's so rich in history, So, man, that's cool, man. My last question is about handling success, right? It's more prevalent now than ever. I feel like, guys are chasing, fame in a way, status, right? But once you get to that leverage point where you have arrived, like maintaining success, I feel like that's a difficult thing to do. Obviously you played 11 years, so you was able to maintain a level of success. Talk about what you did to do that, and also what advice would you give to the youngsters?
I mean, you have to treat every day as a new day. Coach Williams used to always tell us after we win a game, be happy about this until midnight. Tomorrow we're back to work. It's the next thing, And I think that the best athletes, the best business people, it's always about, how can I level up? How can I get better and better? They're never content with what they've already accomplished. You know, that's immediately in the past. And again, that's not to say you don't take it all in and, you know, be proud of it and celebrate it. But it's always got to be thinking about, okay, well, how can I continue to get better? And that doesn't always mean winning a championship or getting paid more money. It's, you know, it's experience. It's, right. You know, it's how you affect other people. It's, you know, how can I get better in all facets of the game, of life? How can I get better every day? And I think back to golf, crazy to think I would have never thought 20 years ago I'd be talking about golf. But again, you know, you hit a beautiful shot off the tee. You drive it 350 yards off the tee. Great. Then your next shot, you know, you top the ball, you knock it into the bunker or whatever, and like now you're in a bad spot.
Right.
And again, it's like it's every shot. It's something different. It's, you know, okay, you hit a good shot, but now you just hit a bad shot because you were so pumped and thought you were the greatest thing in the world, and now you hit a bad shot. And so now what are you going to do now? Right. So, I mean, I guess the advice is like, it doesn't matter what you did. Great, you did it. But now it's the next thing, you know? And so just never getting too high, never getting too low either. But I don't know. No, I guess my advice is like, nobody cares. Say that. I mean, truly.
Nah, I feel you. I feel you on
that.
You
know, like, great, you did this, great.
Yeah, it's always, what have you done for me lately?
Exactly.
You know, and it sounds harsh, but in any business or sports and things like that, you got to have that mindset because there's another guy coming for you every single time you get to a certain pendulum.
Yep, every day. Every day. I mean, you've seen guys that aren't in the league or that don't get re-signed, and you're thinking about, man, 3 years ago that guy was an all-star, was whatever. But to your point, what about lately? Yeah. What about this last year? What about the last couple months? I mean, you can't be using 2 years ago's awards for now.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, man, I definitely wanted to thank you for coming on the show.
I appreciate you,
man.
bro.
This was really cool.
Appreciate
I finally got
man.
A chance to connect with you.
Thanks for having me, brother. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to definitely be down. So now I know when I'm in Carolina, I don't just got to go to Duke. I could come.
First of all, you got to stop going to Duke.
Okay.
And come to Carolina.
All right, cool. But nah, man, this has really been cool, man. I've always watched you from afar, you know what I mean? And I'm always big on guys that go hard. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, that's a skill set. You know what I mean? But back in the day, like if you ain't, you wasn't
non-negotiable.
You wasn't playing.
Non-negotiable.
You know what I mean? So like the guys that always, like I knew I was going on a 50-50 ball and like we had to go after it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And not scared to get their hands dirty and play hard and make the winning plays. You know what I mean?
Winning plays.
Like you've always done that. So I didn't like it when we was playing against you, but like from afar, you know, I always was like, man, Mark went hard, you know. So I truly appreciate that. And I had to laugh because I was just, I don't know who I was talking to this weekend. And I was just like, I'm finally at a point in my life where I could feel comfortable telling somebody that I played against. Like, yo, you was a bad dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm so competitive that my heart couldn't let me do it for a while. But like, yeah, I'm at this point, man. And so it's really cool to connect with you, listen to you, man. And I definitely think we're going, you know, when I get down there, we'll definitely shake hands and do some more stuff together, man.
Come through, bro.
Yeah, man. So, man, that's it on this episode, man. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and share, and always stay game related.